Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle from Washington tonight. More winning as the left sputters. That's the focus of tonight's angle. On what was a beautiful afternoon in Washington, Donald Trump reminded us why electing a successful businessman was a very smart move.
Democrats need to vote for the clean, bipartisan CR and reopen our government. It's got to be reopened right now. We're not doing that. They are the obstructionists. And the reason they're doing it is because we're doing so well. We're doing well all over the world. We're doing well with the close to $20 trillion that I just told you about. It will be that number. But even if you take it down to over 17, that's a guarantee. We're doing well with everything. Car plants are pouring back into our country. AI plants, we're leading. We're dominating China right now.
Well, reindustrializing America will take some time, but week after week, we're beginning to see the results of Trump's efforts. And the main reason why investment is pouring in, well, my favorite word, tariffs. Even the Euro elites who bristled at Trump's reelection are admitting that the dire warnings about his tariffs were overblown. IMF Director Kristalina Georgieva told a conference last week that the trade war didn't really happen. We have a major change in trade policy with the U.S., but the rest of the world has chosen not to retaliate.
Tariffs equal national security. You got to remember that. And they also equal wealth for our nation because we've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars in a very friendly manner, given to us by nations that used to take it from us. And they use tariffs on us. But the tariffs have made us a wealthy country. They've given us tremendous defense. If you go back, you'll see some of the presidents that were the most successful were believers in tariffs.
Well, that is true. And in fact, so much money is pouring in that Trump may even give tariff rebates to American taxpayers.
We're a very rich country again. We'll start paying off debt. We'll do a lot of things. We'll probably make a distribution out of some of the tariff money. I think we're going to make a distribution over the next fairly short period of time to people because we took in so much money from the tariffs.
You know, forget the COVID money, the COVID rebate, COVID checks. We want a tariff check. Well, the truth is he's just better at this stuff than any of these other people are. And unlike other American presidents, Trump's trade policies are grounded in one undeniable fact. America's marketplace is irreplaceable. Take Hyundai, the effort to avoid tariffs on their part. Well, they've moved major operations here, investing tens of billions of dollars. And after Trump's DHS booted their battery plant's foreign workers out of the country, things are back on track there. And they're creating economic opportunity in Georgia towns that had lost other major factories to outsourcing. The CEO, Jose Munoz, recently told his investors, quote, "My top 3 priorities are USA. If we do well here, it's very good for Korea. It's very good for the company." Now, would the hundreds of billions of dollars, and Trump said trillions of dollars in new investment be happening if Kamala were president? That's a trick question. Of course not. We'd all be hearing the giant sucking sound of more jobs to Vietnam, China, and India. We'd be getting ripped off and ordered around by Brussels and Beijing. That's because on the biggest issues facing America, Democrats have no answers, no solutions, only vitriol and perpetual agitation. They're so caught up with being anti-Trump that they're now pro-criminal. Even the Trump-hating Atlantic recently hammered J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson for minimizing crime in Chicago, saying that what these politicians refuse to acknowledge is that violent crime in Chicago remains a serious problem. As I heard from residents there on a visit last month, Trump doesn't entirely miss the mark when he lambasts generations of political indifference to so much suffering. When he deployed the National Guard in Washington, D.C., crime fell. Look, but the left, they don't really care if regular people suffer, right? I mean, in fact, they think you should suffer because they think America herself is irredeemable. And because Trump himself is so relentlessly pro-American, he's everything they hate. His style, his tone, and his priorities.
We don't want dictators or kings in America, and we will never have it.
We are confronting the possible end of our republic. No thrones, no crowns, no kings.
The People's House is basically being sold to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
It is corruption at its core. There's no greater metaphor right now than what's happening right now in this country than watching Donald Trump take a wrecking ball to the White House.
Yeah.
But Trump's rightly proud of his work to make Washington more beautiful again.
We're building a world-class ballroom. You know, for 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom here. We don't have a ballroom. We have a little cocktail area, but we don't have a ballroom. I said, if I do this again, I'm going to get a ballroom built, and we're putting up our own money. With the government is paying for nothing.
But he's building something far more important than a ballroom. He's trying to rebuild the American dream. That first required protecting our people and our jobs by enforcing our borders. Done. And also deporting illegals. More than 500,000 so far. Is a lot more to go. But he's also deported a lot of vicious, violent felons. Good for America. Biden's team was punishing America with an open border. And if Democrats get back into power, they're going to punish you again, people. The paid anti-ICE agitators are doing Democrats' bidding for them. Aren't they lovely when you want them over for dinner? Again, all the Democrats have to offer are cartoonish rallies, giant costume parties. For them, it's always Halloween, except it's all tricks, no treats.
Trump, hey! Trump!
How is that new? They're always doing that garbage can thing. I mean, oh, and let's not forget their party's crowning achievement. As Trump racks up investment wins and the Dow Jones hit another all-time high, the Democrats brought us, all right, drum roll, please, the Schumer shutdown.
Senate Republicans have already voted 11 times to get our government back and open for business. We have record business. We're going to be, I think, by the time I hit month number 12, I think we're going to have $20 trillion of investment. We're over 17 right now. As an example, President Biden had less than $1 trillion for 4 years.
Oof, what a record. Now, Democrats are dying on the vine. And even their friends are conceding that the odds for big gains next year, they're stacked against them.
The Democratic numbers disapproval numbers are higher than the Republican disapproval. Trump is higher than both of them individually, but as a party, and I think that would be something, if I were on the Democratic side, I'd be concerned about.
Well, the theatrics, the histrionics, though, it's all they got. And I think it's their entertainment. It's their church. Trump's trouncing them in economic policy, foreign policy, and even social policy. You see, the Democrats bet against America. They thought Trump was finished after 2020 and January 6th, and that Americans would accept the same type of decline that we see in countries like France and Germany. But they were wrong. America is getting stronger every day, and it's the Democrats who are going to be left behind. And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.